Today, I'm going to discuss the real reason you should never consume plants. For so long, we've been told about all the good things these plants contain, but never the bad. In today's video, I'm going to go over why plants are harmful, give 3 common examples of plants that we were fooled into thinking were healthy for us, and at the end, I'll discuss what the solution is. Now, the first thing you need to know is that every single plant is toxic. And the reason for this is, well, plants are a living organism and the goal of every single living organism is to survive and reproduce. Now, in order for us to defend ourselves, we can punch, we can kick, we can run, we can bite. Many other animals can do similar things. Every single animal has some sort of defense mechanism. In the case of turtles, they have their hard shells, etc., etc. But plants, obviously, they're stationary, so they cannot do any of these things to defend themselves. So what they do is they develop something known as defense compounds, and these things can be incredibly toxic to us. First, let's look at broccoli. For starters, broccoli is not even a real plant. It's literally a genetic variation of wild cabbage that was man-made. Sulforaphane is a compound in broccoli that becomes activated when it is processed in some way, whether that be chopped or chewed. As soon as the structural integrity of broccoli is damaged, this thing becomes active. Now, the thing with this compound is that it's incredibly bitter. So think about how smart this is for a second. As soon as you bite into broccoli, which obviously it does not want as it wants to survive, it releases a bitter taste. Now, if you're a dumb little insect, you're going to bite into this and go, oh, that tastes terrible, let's not eat this plant. However, if you're a human, you'll bite into it and go, this tastes bad, but apparently it's good for me, so I'm going to keep eating it. If we didn't have medical professionals telling us how good it is for us, nobody would consume this, due to this bitter compound being released. Now, along with this bitter taste, this compound also damages our mucosal lining in our gut. Now, essentially, this lining is there to prevent bacteria, pathogens of any kind from getting into our bloodstream. So you can imagine what happens when this lining is damaged. Now, another thing that's very fascinating is when people remove plants from their diet, their depression also goes away. Now, 90% of serotonin is made in our gut. So when we have compounds such as this damaging our gut lining, our body's ability to make these hormones becomes impaired. And so you remove these toxic compounds and many people find that their mood drastically improves. Another compound that is present in broccoli is phytic acid. Now, how phytic acid works is essentially it binds to other nutrients, blocking their absorption. This is what is known as an anti-nutrient. And it's compounds like these that are responsible for the findings that we see in many studies, such as studies that have found that 90+% of the iron in spinach cannot be absorbed by humans. Now we have broccoli, the superfood. Now let's look at broccoli. It's not real. It contains defensive compounds that we know are toxic to us, and the nutrients that it contains are bound up and we cannot absorb them. Now, I don't know about you, but that to me doesn't quite sound like a superfood. There is a reason that broccoli, when eaten by itself, tastes bitter, and that is due to the fact that our taste buds can sense these defense compounds and they're essentially warning us to not eat it. Think about it like this. If broccoli was so good for us and every time we consumed it, our body felt amazing and all the processes we need were enhanced due to the nutrients that it contained, don't you think that over a long enough time horizon, our taste buds would start adapting and broccoli would start tasting nice to us so that we consumed more of it? Literally, think about it. You can have a meal in front of you and it tastes incredible. Then 5 minutes later, you're borderline gagging simply because you've eaten so much of it, and if you eat any more of it, it's going to be toxic to you. Our taste buds can change in the span of 10 minutes to prevent us from being poisoned. They are incredibly smart and sophisticated. If broccoli was good for us, it would taste good. And for those of you who say, well, I actually like broccoli. No, you don't. You like the butter that it's cooked in and the spices and seasonings that you put with it. And now, if you are a strange individual who genuinely enjoys raw broccoli, that is a mere survival adaptation. What happens is when you eat the same plant over and over for an extended period of time, our bodies go, okay, well, this must be the only source of energy if we're consuming it. So it starts tasting slightly better and better. So you continue to eat it and essentially you don't die of starvation. If you went 1 month without consuming broccoli, I guarantee that when the survival adaptation had worn off, it would taste terrible to you. So broccoli's trash, let's look at tomatoes. Tomatoes are part of the nightshade family. Now, the reason they're referred to as a nightshade is because they contain a set of certain characteristics, such as flowers with 5 petals. Now, the probable reason that they got this name is because these types of plants tend to typically grow in the shade, and it's been well established for a very long time that these type of plants are poisonous for us. Even as far back as 40 AD, we knew these things were harmful. And because bad is often associated with darkness, and darkness is associated with night, and they grow in the shade, that is the probable reason why they got their name. But some speculate it's due to the fact that these things were speculated to be involved with witchcraft back in the day. So personally, I think the second reason's cooler, but I mean, the first reason is probably the real reason. Anyway, not the point. The problem with nightshades is that many of them will kill you immediately.
Hey guys, it's me again. I wanted to let you all know that I've written an ebook which is a complete beginner's guide on the carnivore diet. It's only 17 pages long and it covers everything you need to know. So whether you want to refresh your knowledge or you're a beginner who's looking to get onto the carnivore diet and doesn't know where to start, this one's for you. All you have to do is head down to the description of this video, click the top link, and I'll send it to you for free. And on top of that, I'll send you a couple emails each week with some bonus tips I have regarding the carnivore diet. And the best part is that there's no catch. It's literally all for free. So go down to the description to claim your free copy now. Anyway, back to the video.
Now, all nightshades are incredibly toxic, but the ones that don't kill us immediately are somehow considered healthy because we don't die right on the spot. Instead, we just live much shorter lives if we consume them. That's the plant muncher reason as to why nightshades are good for us, but not the point again. Now, nightshades as a whole contain many defense compounds, but one that are exclusive to tomatoes is something known as tomatine, which, I mean, whoever named that wasn't feeling extra creative on that day. Now, the problem with this compound, tomatine, is that it damages the cholesterol in our cell membranes. All of our cell membranes are made from cholesterol. So essentially, this compound comes along, causes great damage to the cell membrane, which therefore causes inflammation. And the root cause of every single disease is chronic inflammation. So clearly not ideal. Now let's look at potatoes. Again, potatoes are a nightshade. Now, one compound that is present in potatoes is known as lectins. Now, lectins are in so many of the foods that we commonly consume. I'm talking wheat, oats, lentils. They're in so many different foods, and lectins are actually incredibly problematic to us. In fact, there are many health issues that lectins are speculated to be a major contributing factor for. However, in this video, we're going to talk hard fact. Here's what lectins do. Lectins bind to carbohydrates. Now, what's the problem with this? You see, our gut lining, many of the cells have carbohydrates attached to them. So we consume these lectins, they go down our digestive tract, and then they bind to our gut lining. Now, not only is this incredibly inflammatory, but it also prevents many of our enzymes in our gut from being able to absorb the nutrients that we consume. So again, it's basically an anti-nutrient that causes inflammation to our gut. Definitely something we want to avoid. So essentially, plants are a scam. We don't need them. Eat a carnivore diet. That is the solution. And for those of you who are wondering, wow, isn't a carnivore diet bad for you? I've heard red meat's bad for my health. I have another video that I think you'll enjoy. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content, consider subscribing. See you next time.